Andy Austin up in the attic again. Now, Facebook, social media, I personally don't think much good comes from it. But a question has been raised to me by a colleague this week, and I thought, oh, there's an interesting question. I'll do a little video on it. After all, desperate for subjects to talk about. Essentially, they have been on Facebook for a long time, as many people have. And as a result of that, they have very active pages and groups. Pages are usually sort of a public statement going out, and a group is where people interact with. So there's differences between the two. Pages are normally used for promotion of stuff, and groups are for discussion and contributions from others. And the general feel is that if they come off Facebook and delete those groups, will they lose their business? Now, I understand that's quite a concern to people. I have a big concern, though, which is you are now allowing Facebook to control how and where you do your business. Now, this is a multinational, massive internet giant who harvests an unbelievable amount of data about you and your habits and so forth. Their AI is incredibly accurate in predicting your behaviors, even who you vote for based on your Facebook page. And essentially, Facebook does not exist to provide a service for you. It only exists to provide services that it can make money from. It's not there as a charity or public service. And of course, if Facebook own and control all the data that you are placing onto it, and they also control and run the groups, you can be deleted, removed, have terms and conditions changed at any time that they choose. I personally don't believe in handing over my autonomy to mega corporations or to governments or to anybody else. For me, autonomy is very, very important. And unfortunately, because it's this slow drip effect, Facebook started off as a way for college students to get laid and very quickly evolved into something that it's become today. And it's always evolving, and people are getting more and more dependent upon it. My advice is to wrestle your business away from Facebook. Now, the thing I would urge people to do, are you actually getting work and business from your social media presence? And is that worth the amount of time that you spend on it, arguing with strangers, looking at pictures of cats, and just infinitely scrolling? If you don't know what I mean by the infinite scroll, just type it in and look at the research that Facebook and other social media companies did. There used to be a point where you get to the bottom of the page, you'd have to click to the next page. Then they introduced the infinite scroll, and they found retention time of people just mindlessly staring at a screen on the infinite scroll massively increased. Because before, to click on something brought a natural punctuation point. Now, these are the people who are now owning your behavior. Because if you're frightened to come off social media, if you're frightened to hit that delete button and never visit it again, they own you. They've got you. And you have to reconsider, is this really how you want to live the rest of your life and your business life, and have these guys control it? Autonomy is definitely the way to go. Now, for myself, I came off all social media, and I have found that nothing negative happened whatsoever. In fact, it's been wholesale positive, that everything for me has increased significantly. I thought initially that would be because I'm no longer accessible. People are looking at my websites, finding my products, so there'll be an initial spike, and then it would tail off again. Nope, that's not what's happened at all. Essentially, the people that I'm interacting with on Facebook, was interacting with on Facebook, and I had quite a big following, and I used to get very high levels of engagement. That's nice, and thank you to all those people, but those people weren't my customers. Those aren't people who are basically putting money in my bank account in exchange for the services that I offer. These are people who've either previously been customers, or in fact are just interested in what it is I have to do and what it is I have to say. And so that's quite significant. You have to look at, if you're getting lots and lots of likes, are you just stuck in a like economy that doesn't translate financially? If you're getting lots of comments and supportive comments, again, is that just feeding ego, or is that feeding the bank account? It's something that's very important to look at. And free yourself from the amount of time that you spend on social media. If you think you have business on Facebook, and that actually does quite well, then I would urge you to start looking at alternatives. Basically, not to another social media company. Essentially, the difficulty is going to be wrestling those users away from that platform to a different platform that's independent. Essentially, by having a one-stop shop, what Facebook has is that it provides all these different services for people, and people just go to the one website and can click around that website environment. What people don't like to do is have to log into multiple different websites and click between the lot. Well, I think that's very foolish. And again, you've got to ask yourself, are those people your customers? Do people lock themselves in the infinite mindless scrolling on Facebook in order to pay you money? I suspect they probably don't. As always, going to be very interested in the comments, so stick it in the comment section below. Please click the like button. Every like helps. It's a like economy after all.